And this just in, Texas Democrats are leaving the state in an attempt to prevent the State House from holding a vote tomorrow on new congressional maps.
A few moments later.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories twice a day, every day. Now, y'all, I told you a few days ago that this whole redistricting thing in Texas was heating up, was going to get crazy, wild. And it has, y'all. As of now, the Texas Democrats have officially fled the state. Again, they have left the state in an attempt to prevent or at least delay the redistricting, which would see the Democrats lose up to 5 seats in the United States House of Representatives. That could be a very serious blow against the Democrats' attempts to retake the House of Representatives in 2026 next year. So they left, y'all. I mean, you could say they tucked tail and ran away. You could call it strategic, however you want to get into it. But in this report, we're going to show you exactly why they ran away. You're going to see them on the plane, as you saw in the coming up. You're going to see them running. And by the way, y'all, I noticed in this video, I said have fled instead of have fled. I don't feel like re-recording it, so y'all work with your boy, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement. You're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
Now, Texas state Democrats are contemplating fleeing the state in order to prevent Republicans from approving new maps that could expand their congressional majority. The move is widely considered the best option for the state minority party, even though participants would face a daily $500 fine. Today, Texas State Rep. Gina Hinoso hinted that the act of resistance may be worth it, even in the end.
We broke quorum in 2021 to try to get the John Lewis Voting Rights Act passed, which you referred to earlier in the program. And so in Texas, we fight to win. And I think if you watch, you'll see the same.
Joining us now, Democratic Texas State Representative Christian Manuel. Representative Manuel, will we see Democrats break quorum and leave the state in order to avoid a vote on redistricting? Do you think lawmakers, yourself included, are prepared to face this $500 per day fine and potentially threats of arrest?
Absolutely. Nothing is off the table for us right now. We know that we're in extreme situations where Republicans are trying to force our hand by doing any and everything. So we are looking to do everything that we possibly can. Nothing is off the table. We are trying to do everything to work with them to make them do the right thing. But if they refuse to and are not going to be there, nothing is off the table. And I'll tell you, my constituents, that is what they expect. This is what I was elected for, and that is what I have overwhelmingly gotten from my office, from my constituency. And if that is what we end up having to do, so be it. I hope we don't have to get there, but if we get there, then we will get there.
So you think there's support for this? Because it seems like, initially the optics of it could look like you're not resisting, but leaving the state in and of itself is really kind of the only option you've got left. I'm wondering if you and your colleagues decide to go ahead and do this, do you know how long you'd have to stay away? Days, weeks? And as those fines accrue, can everybody pay them? How are you going to pay them?
We're looking at this wholly to look at every option. And I think, honestly, it's not about the money for us. Granted, we don't make money off of this. I make $650 a month, $600 a month, from being a state representative. It's not about the money for us. It's about democracy.
So word has come down that the Democrats have fled to Chicago. If you watch this channel, you know we cover Chicago. That's where your boy, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, that's his home. That's where he holds sway with about 6% of the voters. So it looks like the Texas Democrats have fled to Chicago. Now, this is a video purportedly of the airplane that they boarded, y'all. They ran away.
And this just in, Texas Democrats are leaving the state in an attempt to prevent the state house from holding a vote tomorrow on new congressional maps. Republicans hope those redrawn maps will net them several additional U.S. House seats in next year's midterm elections. The rare mid-decade redrawing of the congressional map would affect major metropolitan areas, including Houston and Dallas.
So I'd like to know what y'all think about this. Do you think, listen, if you are a Republican or if you're on Trump's side, you probably knee-jerk reaction, you probably say this is cowardly. You probably say this is wrong. But really think about it. Like, take a moment, think about it. If you're in a political minority, if you think the other side's doing something wrong, okay, do you think that this type of tactic is within the realm of acceptability? Like, is this acceptable? Try to think about it if it were the Republicans doing the same thing, and if you were against the redistricting, would you say, yeah, go get as far away as possible, delay, deny, just muck it all up? I'd like to know what you think about this. So let me know down in the comments, and we're gonna shoot right into our report that gives you more context, and you're gonna see your girl, Jasmine Crockett, talking about all this. By the way, they say that her district is going to be redrawn such that her actual residence is going to be outside of the district that she won last time. So this is really wild stuff. Let's get into it.
Numbers, President Trump did win the majority of the Hispanic votes in the state. In fact, he flipped, I believe it was 10 counties in the state. So don't you think that is reflective of this map, this proposed map, that the minorities who are here with the new minority districts that have been created, it is reflective?
No, Representative, I don't. Again,
Okay.
It's just based upon, this is just pure math. Like, I'm not trying to pick who is going to vote for who, because as it was stated earlier, the idea that anybody is a monolith is wild anyway. Right? Because first of all, Latinos down at the border, they are not the same as Latinos, say, in the DFW or in Harris County. So I don't want to pretend as if any minority group is a monolith, which is one of the reasons that we talk about communities of common interest, because we work together and we function together and we do things a little differently. I'm sure there are even black folk in Houston that will argue that they're not the same as Dallas black people, right? So it's an ongoing thing, but nevertheless, what I will say is that is why you shouldn't just be grabbing up people from wherever and saying, oh, well, they all the same race. It is bigger than that. It is trying to make sure, and you brought up compactness earlier. And so compactness is one of those things that you consider as well, because again, it is different. When you look at a state the size of Texas, you know how many states you can fit in our state, right? So thinking about it in that way, a reflective map would look like the fact that only 39% of this state is Anglo. So how in the heck do we have 60% of the seats that go to DC are going to be decided by Anglos? That's the math that doesn't work. We need to flip the numbers so that people of color, no matter who they vote for, if they decide they're voting for Trump, and you're right, because of the 13 democratically elected seats in the state of Texas, one of those seats was a majority white seat. That's it. Everybody else, it was people of color that sent us to DC. But when we look at the Republicans, of the 25 seats, 23 of those seats are Anglo majority seats. 2 of those seats, Latinos are the ones that chose. And I don't have a beef with that. That's who they elected, and that is perfectly fine. So they have 2 Anglo seats that are Republican. 2 Latino opportunity seats that elected Republicans. That is perfectly fine. People vote for who they vote for, but don't divide our communities and dilute our voices. And that's why we're here, because we feel like we're being diluted because we're packing black folk, or the bill author mentioned that there's some district that went up to over 70-something% 25% Latino. That is packing. You don't need almost 80% Latinos for that district to perform as a Latino opportunity seat.
And so you don't agree with the new minority Hispanic seats? Because
I don't agree with this map.
Okay, thank you.
So there we have a bit of a preview of the redistricting fight with your girl. You know who she is. I don't even have to say her name. And Democrats they're freaking out about this, y'all. They understand that if this goes through, if this goes down, Republicans might be able to maintain control of the House of Representatives or even increase their control in the House. And this would be really bad for the Democrats.
Believes doing so ahead of the 2026 election could help Republicans win more seats in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
Texas Republican leaders moving forward with the first part of the process. For their part, they said it was important the first hearings take input from everyday Texans.
We want to hear from the public about what revisions should occur, if any. That's the purpose of today's hearing.
A hearing that largely featured members of the public opposed to Trump's plan.
These future maps are going to divide our communities so badly that we will no longer have a fair representation in Congress.
We would never, ever, ever let a con man from New York tell us Texas what to do.
The hearings come less than 1 week after California Governor Gavin Newsom met in Sacramento with Texas Democratic leaders. Newsom saying he will consider redrawing California's congressional districts to help pick up Democratic congressional seats if Texas Republicans move forward with Trump's plan.
They're not screwing around. We cannot afford to screw around either. We have got to fight fire with fire.
But Common Cause, a nonpartisan nonprofit organization dedicated to independent redistricting, is calling out both Newsom and Trump. Common Cause notes California already has an independent redistricting commission, something they call the gold standard.
Redistricting processes that are nonpartisan, transparent, and that center community input do the best job of creating voting maps that provide ordinary people with fair representation.
You can't fight gerrymandering with more gerrymandering.
Patricia Sinai is a member of California's Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission.
Independent redistricting commissions work because they put people first, not special interests or political parties. The people are in control. Handing the power to incumbent legislators, lobbyists, and special interests will bring back the political gamemanship that brought us to the independent redistricting in the first place. We can't afford to sacrifice the truly democratic process for short-term solutions. We must do what we can to preserve the California Citizen Redistricting Commission and independent redistricting throughout the state of California.
And to be clear, Newsom has not made any final decisions on this. He says that will be based on the actions of the Texas legislature. Should Newsom move forward with his plan, he can either go to his legislature or directly to the voters to change the redistricting process in California. At the state capitol, covering local news that matters, Eitan Wallace, Fox 40 News.
So in their panic, Democrats have all kinds of tactics that they're trying to use. You just saw one of the tactics that they might try to use, which is redistricting California. Who knows if that would even work? But yeah, they're freaking out about this, and they're not making any kind of bones about it. This is an existential crisis for them.
Because people across our state hate what is happening. Republicans and Democrats alike. There was a Republican that testified in Houston that he didn't want him to do it either. Texans see what's being done to them and they don't like it and they're not going to take it. So number one, we are using our voices to make sure that our constituents and people across the state, no matter who their member of Congress is, know who's fighting for them and their ability to have a say, for their vote, to be able to cast their vote and have a say in the elections. And I want to say one other really important statistic because we've talked about it, but it's important to know that in Texas, more than 60% of the population is minority, and yet Anglo voters control 65% of the congressional seats. They get to choose the candidates that go to Congress. So we have the inverse here. So when Leader Jeffrey said the map is already unconstitutional, being challenged in court, We already think 13 isn't enough. And now what you see is they're reducing it. They're reducing the voices of minority communities. But that should matter to every single Texan, no matter who you vote for. We should care about the rights of Texans to have our say and let Texans make decisions, not Donald Trump. So that's one of the most important things. And you are important in that process and making sure that you're covering it, that you're talking about it, and that people across our state know, and people across the country are watching. They're watching what we do here in Texas. So that's a very important thing. And I think everybody who's standing here and our colleagues who couldn't be physically in Austin with us today, who are using their voices, and those who are here but somewhere else on the Capitol, because Texas Democrats are standing up, speaking out, and fighting for the rights of all Texans.
It's important for us to make clear to the people of Texas that this effort to undermine their ability for a free and fair election to occur is going to hurt their quality of life. Democrats, independents, and Republicans alike. This Texas gerrymander will hurt your quality of life, and our message to the people of Texas is you deserve better from your government, which should be focused on solving problems, not simply following orders from Donald Trump, who knows he doesn't have a track record of accomplishment that he can sell to the voters in the midterm elections.
Senator Jeffries, the question is, are you urging Texas Democrats to break quorum? That may be the only nuclear option that they
My response is simple. First and foremost, we have to make clear to the people of Texas what's taking place, because it's unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. And as elected officials, we have that responsibility. That's not something we can just brush aside. There are 50 states in America. I'm here in Texas for a reason, because these legislators are standing up. These members of Congress are standing up and communicating to the people of Texas what's occurring right now in the middle of the summer at a special session. And we will make clear that we're going to do everything possible to support the Texas legislators as they consider the best ways to push back. It's an all hands on deck moment, and all options should be on the table to protect the people of Texas. But Texas Democrats are going to be the ones to decide that. We will fight them politically, we will fight them governmentally, we will fight them in court, we will fight them in terms of winning the hearts and minds of the people of Texas and beyond. The Texas Democrats are going to show up and stand up and speak up for what's right for the people of Texas. And they're showing courage and conviction and character in doing that. And we'll see what happens over the next few days, over the next few weeks. But the one thing I know is clear, that Texas Democrats are fighting for the people. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. We're finished here. Thank you very much.
So states, they have the right to draw their districts as they see fit. And you're going to hear a lot about this coming up, about Texas and maybe other states redistricting in an attempt to gain an advantage in the House of Representatives. See, the Senate doesn't really have that problem because each state has 2 senators regardless of districts. The House of Representatives absolutely has a redistricting issue in that if you change the way the districts are drawn, you can include people from over here with people from over there. You can include more people from a particular demographic or political party, and you can really change the makeup of the House of Representatives. So let me know down in the comments, do you agree with this or don't you? I mean, I think this is a good question. We already know that the states have the right to redistrict. Do you think that the use of it in this way is cool? Is it copacetic or no? Let me know down in the comments. But before you do, please stop, hit the share button, share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And if you are not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, people. For my people with a retirement, go to Paralegal, PARALEGOLD.com. Get our information on protecting your retirement from the upsies, downsies, roundsies, and the roundsies. And you can call my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all. We'll see you back in the next one.